Don't think that you're going to be spoon-fed at university, because that's not the case. Honey, you're doing the work, whether you like it or not. Okay.
Yeah. You finished uploading your video?
No, I'm mid-recording.
Hi guys.
Something that is quite clickety back.
You better shout me out in this video. Ciao. Camera.
Are you filming this video? Oh. Hello guys. Hi.
He's wet.
What are you talking to me? Don't act. You are.
I came to my first year. I was like, what? Are you mad? What were you talking about? What part of it is easy? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is great seeing you here. I'm here with another video, a video which has been very much requested and I am very excited to film, and that is my first year experience video. So I'm going to be spilling a lot of tea and I want you guys to be sipping along with me. Grab your teacups, grab your water if you want, because I got my water here nice and cold, and let's get comfortable, get yourself in a nice environment, and let's start discussing about my university experience. Stay tuned. Okay, so quick disclaimer, if I keep looking down during my video, it's because my laptop is here with all my notes. If you hear some noise in the background, my brother is sitting in the corner.
Good guys, go sip some tea, mate. It's good for you.
So there's no ghosts in this room, it's just my younger brother. And if the lighting changes at all during this video, it's because the sun has just been a bit annoying today. So I've tried to organize this video into like fairly big topics which I can delve in deeper and actually talk about properly, but as I am a rambler, you probably know this, so I probably won't be able to stick to the topics, so sorry about that, but I'm trying to organize it in some form or way. And if you check the description bar below, hopefully I will put a kind of timestamp list of all the things I'm talking about, so if you're looking for something specific, you can just jump straight into it. Before we start, let me just give you a brief outline of, I guess, me and where I study. So if you do not know where, by now, probably means you haven't been watching my vlogs, so make sure you go and tune into that. I study at the University of Edinburgh, which is all the way up in Scotland, so very north from here. And if you haven't watched the vlogs already, just check up here with the icon, should pop out any moment soon, and it will have my playlists to season 1 and season 2 of my first year university experience, so you can check them out and get some insight to what student life really is about. Also, I study the degree International Relations, but as of second year I transferred, so I'll be studying a degree called International Relations with quantitative methods. But yeah, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What was it like studying in Edinburgh in my first year? Well, one thing I have said to a lot of people is that it was very new and very different, and different is the key word, because like I said, I have been born and raised in London. Shout out to my London crew, which is a multicultural, busy, crazy city where tons of stuff is going on. But when I moved up to Scotland, in Edinburgh specifically, everything was sort of different, as in people would take their time, people seemed quite friendly. It was just a very different kind of culture and very different atmosphere. One thing that I had to get used to was moving so far away from home and not being very close to my friends and family, and I think that's one big change that a lot of us have to make when we're moving to university, simply because you're in a new space and you don't have that comfort call of being able to just shout down down the corridor, "Mom, like, I need this, help me with this." It was quite difficult at the beginning because I'm used to being with my brothers all the time and seeing my mum every day, you know, just being part of the family life, and and going to university kind of deprives you of that a bit, unless you're living at home, obviously. But it's something you slowly get yourself used to, and it's something that kind of improves over time. But let's get more into the nitty-gritty of things and talk about the structure of my degree. So with my degree, it's kind of we kind of learn through lectures, tutorials, seminars, and that kind of stuff. But this whole system is very different to sixth form, and that's one thing that you have to get used to. In sixth form, you're basically spoon-fed. I'm not gonna lie, like, you have the teacher telling you exactly what to do. In university, you've got none of that. Literally, you are thrown straight into the deep end. I remember our first lecture came, right? It was a lecture in international law, and I was happy, excited, I was looking forward to this. Come in now, and the lecturer didn't really give a, "Hi, welcome, this is your first time at university, congratulations, you've made it." Didn't really give us a bit of a settler, none of that. Was kind of like, "Hi, let's get straight on to international law." I was just writing all this nonsense, hoping that some of it would stick. So that's something that you get used to, because again, in your modules, you've got people from different year groups studying it. That's one big difference from sixth form. In sixth form, you know that everyone in your class is in year 13 or in year 12. Even in secondary school, you know everyone's in year 9, everyone's in year 8. In uni, you can have a fourth year student sitting in, you can have a first year student sitting in the same class. Well, not per se the first and the fourth, but more of a first and the second year. You would usually have a situation like that happening. So not everyone in your module or in your classes or even in your tutorial groups are necessarily in the same degree program as you or the same year group as you. One thing that I definitely say is just get to know people in your module, because you get to know so many different people from so many different backgrounds and so many different degree programs. Like, not everyone is doing the same degree as you. So let's talk about the staff. What do I think about the staff at Edinburgh? I think so far the impression I've got is they're fairly good. There are some, like every university and every school experience, you get the really good teachers which you love and you're like, "Yes, sister, help me through this, like, I'm gonna pass my exam because of you." And then you get them teachers which are really crappy and you're like, how do you have this job? Why? Who's paying you? Who's paying you? Like, come on. So again, it's going to be a whole mixture. I can't say that we've got the best people in the world. I can't say that we've got the worst people in the world. Everyone's going to think differently. There were some tutors or lecturers that I loved that some other people were like, they weren't feeling them, you know what I mean? So again, this all depends on who you are, who you have, and where you go. Right, sorry guys if the quality or the angling has changed a bit. My mum came home, so we kind of had to stop the video. But let's continue on with another topic actually, and this is more under the umbrella of student life. So first topic we're going to discuss is accommodation. So obviously you've been accepted by Edinburgh University. Well, I've been accepted by University of Edinburgh, and that's great. Results day, you know, August, which is coming up for you guys, so good luck. So results day, you got accepted, you're happy, and then you realize, where am I living? So basically in Edinburgh, you apply for your accommodation and you have like 5 choices, and then you obviously submit your application, wait for a response, and then you're allocated one of your preferences, ideally. But your girl was a different story. I wasn't allocated straight away the place that I wanted, or one of the 5 I chose. I was allocated a different place, a place which you guys know as Salisbury Court. And I was like, the hell, like, why am I getting a place that I've never heard of? Like, where's this place? And I searched up all the different accommodations of Edinburgh because I was very, very uptight about, you know, choosing accommodation, making sure I got the right place, because accommodation is very important. There's a lot of things to consider, and I'll go into that hopefully in a second, but if I don't, I'll make a whole new video about it. But you know, I was so confused, and some of the reviews that I'd read about places, yeah, I'd heard things about, you know, places having rats and stuff, and I was like, no, that's not gonna be me. But to my delight and by the grace of God, when I was reading it, I realised that Salisbury Court was actually a new accommodation site which they built, and which was finishing in the year of September 2017, which was the year I started university. So I was moving in to new accommodation. And to make matters way better, it was an ensuite. And I was like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Guys, you don't understand. I was very, very uptight about having an ensuite. So I was so happy that it fulfilled that requirement. But I was assigned in a flat with a 10-person flat. Yes, 10. It was really mad. All of them actually were girls, so I lived in an all-girls flat, 10 of us all together, which was really different because for me, I live in a household where I have 2 younger brothers and I'm the only girl. I went to mixed schools, and so living with just girls was very kind of foreign to me. But it was a new experience. It was a different experience, and I kind of got well acquainted with it, and I enjoyed it. It was really nice. I got fortunately paired with some nice people at the time, and it was great because we had the opportunity to kind of get to know each other, organize kind of events with each other. So me and my flatmates would celebrate Christmas together. We would celebrate, for example, we would have a flat party randomly and invite people over. We might have really big pre-sessions, or even just having like kind of movie nights, which was something we did quite often. So that was really, really fun, and it was really nice to have that kind of atmosphere, especially when you're moving away from home. But if you haven't seen my room in Salisbury Court, then please check out my room tour video, which again will be up in the icon card. But I really enjoyed the room. It was a good size, as you can see here briefly, but my room is not that big. So that room was bigger than my room. Most people are complaining that student rooms are small. For me, my student room was bigger than my actual room, so I wasn't complaining. If you also have been staying tuned to my videos and my vlogs and stuff, you'll also see that I moved accommodations later on due to circumstances which were out of my control, unfortunately, which I will talk about a bit in another video. But I basically had to move out of Salisbury Court for personal reasons, and well, actually I might as well address it. Basically I was involved in a racist incident, and so I chose to move away from Salisbury Court, and so in doing so I got a new place called Chancellor's Court, and in Chancellor's Court this was part of Pollock Halls. Again, if you want a room tour, check the icon because I've also uploaded one for that. You see guys, I was on a roll. But it was a very different experience living in Chancellor's Court. First of all, I lived in Salisbury Court for the majority of my year. I moved into Chancellor's at the end of March, so I was there for April and a little bit in May. So I lived there for basically just over a month, little over a month. So again, the experiences were very different. Chancellor's was a catered accommodation, and Salisbury was a self-catered accommodation. So just to give you an overview of what those mean, catered means that there is a kind of a dining room area. They provide food, you get the food, eat food. It's kind of like a buffet kind of atmosphere. Dining hall, throwback to secondary school times. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Whereas self-catered means we provide you the facilities such as an oven, a microwave, a cooker, and you make the food yourself, which gives you a lot of flexibility to eat when you want, where you want, what you want. Whereas with catered, you've got to eat what they give you. You eat at certain times, and if you miss that time, well, tough luck. On top of that, because it's catered, they don't have the cooking facilities that you would have been provided in self-catered, and so all you literally have is a pantry. And so in the pantry, it is set out like a kitchen. Essentially, you have obviously your couch area for chilling, socializing, etc. But all they provide you is with cupboard space, fridges, and a microwave and a kettle. So you can make, I don't know, tea in the morning or something like that. You can store snacks and stuff, you know, cold drinks, etc. But you know, you're restricted to a microwave. Moving on, and this topic kind of relates to accommodation in a way. What was it like being a person of color, basically being black, in Edinburgh? In Salisbury Court, I was the only black person in my flat. Like I said, I lived with 10 other girls. All of them were white. I was the only black person. So I was the only person of colour, which was, again, another weird experience because, like I said, I live in Hackney in London, which is a very multicultural and diverse area. Like, I'm used to going to, like, in my secondary school, for example, literally it was predominantly black and Asian communities. So I'm used to that kind of environment, and so being the only person of colour, you know, taking pictures with your flat and then you're feeling like the black spot and, you know, everyone's all white, you know, that kind of thing. It's a bit weird. You get used to it, but it's like, you know. One thing that I noticed, for example, with pre-drinks, which was basically mini house parties, yeah, but I'll explain what they are a bit more later. But one thing that I noticed is that they'll play music, but it wasn't music I'd vibe to. It's very different music to what I listen to what people usually in the same, you know, same community, people of color would listen to. Like, I'm, you know, all about my hip hop, my R&B, my grime, my bashment, my Afro beats. You know, I'm all about that kind of music, and that's kind of music that my white counterparts didn't necessarily listen to a lot. I'm not saying that all white people are like that, but the white people I lived with, yeah. So it meant that a lot of the time, you know, at pre's you'd just be doing the whole deep down inside you're like, oh my gosh, this music is so crap, let me just live. On top of it, like I mentioned earlier, I experienced a racial experience within my accommodation, so that was, again, annoying. When you're the only black person in your flat and something racist happens, first of all, you feel like crap. Like, you know, I already stand out because I look different to you, but you've made me stand out even further because you've made me feel inferior to you. So that wasn't great. And again, like I said, I can't speak for everyone else's experiences. I've watched tons of YouTube videos where people have been like okay and they haven't had any racist experiences. Unfortunately, I can't say the same thing. Being a student in Edinburgh, a college student in Edinburgh, again, that was another thing that I had to adjust to. Living in a city where only 1.4% of the population is black is very different. That's not to say in London black people rule the world and we overtake this place, but I lived in a community where the majority of people who live here are black or Asian. So even though it's not representative of the whole UK and London, it was a lot more diverse in comparison to where I was studying and living. And this is the experience of many students who move out into university up north or into just other cities in general. You kind of start to see a bit more that you're not really the majority, you're the minority. That really kind of sinks in. You don't become aware of your blackness until you kind of go through an experience of living in a different environment where you are purely the minority. I don't know whether that makes sense. It hopefully makes sense to those of you who are people of colour, but essentially it's just weird. That's why I say joining in groups such as ACS and your BME group is very important. Finding people who can relate to your experience, finding people finding fellow people of color. You don't necessarily have to join the societies. You can just find people which look like you, which you can generally just relate to, because without that, I can definitely say it's a very, very hard time to live in these white dominated spaces without someone to rant or vent to. Like I said earlier, it's very, very important, especially from a POC background, to have people to talk to and to vent to. And this is going to jump on to my next topic, which I can make a whole video on again, but mental health. Mental health at university is so very important, guys, and you need to take care of it. I was one of those people who, again, would sit at home, watch these YouTube videos, and then people would talk about mental health, and I'd be like, yeah, I get you, I feel you, I understand what you're saying, but I just can't comprehend it, I can't understand it yet. And it's something that until you go through it, you won't really truly understand. You're in another city by yourself. You have to be used to listening to your emotions, listening to your thoughts by yourself. You're usually alone quite a bit. From a person of color background, from a black person's perspective, if things like racism happens and you have no one to talk to, it can become a bit too much and it can all get into here. And I really urge all of you to make sure that you have people to talk to, have a community, have a support network. And that's why definitely I can say this as just president of the African Caribbean Society, ACS. That's why I want to foster a community within our society where people can feel comfortable to come to us, talk to us, have fun with us, you know, have a good time. But when they're in their lows, they can also come to us and be like, yo, listen, not everything's going great. I strongly urge you, I cannot say this enough, but talk to someone, whether that means getting counselling services, whether that means calling them nightlines in the middle of the night. Do that, because I strongly urge you to take care of your mental health. If any of you are going through any mental health issues or just going through some hard times, I'm definitely open to talk to you, give my advice and help you if I can. So check my socials below, my Insta, my Twitter, DM me there and I'll be happy to talk, or you can email me, my email's in the description below, and I'll be happy to respond. So let's change topic and let's talk about something a bit more optimistic, a bit more fun and a bit more happier. Let's talk about this social life at university. Okay, so many of you, this is your first time away from home. You are living by yourself. You have the independence to choose what you're gonna do, where you're gonna go, who you're gonna meet. So you best make sure you're doing the right thing, and you best make sure you're having a good time whilst you're doing that. So let's talk about the very first time in your life where you're probably going to have a good time, hopefully. Freshers Week. So if you want to see my Freshers Week, again, check the vlogs because I have already put the videos out for that. People say that Freshers Week is going to be the best time of your life. Well, let me put a pin in that. Guys, do not have too high expectations for Freshers Week, okay? Like, yes, you see some people, Midlands, Birmingham, Leicester, DMU, you see some of them having the time of their lives. Not all of us are going to have that time, okay? Just remember that. For those of you who don't know, Freshers Week is a week before your academic year starts, for you to start to get to know people, for you to settle into university, well, and your accommodation, and just to have fun, you know. Get all that last energy of summer out of you. And so usually your university will hold events during the course of the week for you to be able to take part in, enjoy the week and see different people, meet new people. And so for us at Edinburgh, we got given a booklet Welcome Week booklet. They call it Welcome Week, but I'm just going to refer it to Freshers Week because that's what y'all know. So our Freshers Week, we got given a booklet, and it had all the different days of Freshers Week, and on the days it would have different types of events. So you had events maybe targeted at international students. We had events targeted for postgrads and obviously undergrads, and then you would have events for example, people who liked going out to see I know things in Scotland, get to know Scottish culture. You had things for nightlife, you know, a lot of clubbing events and good things to do in the evening. You had a lot of society events, so if you had a society which you like, for example ACS, we are having some events coming up in Freshers Week, so make sure you stay tuned. But you could find all those events listed in the Freshers Week booklet and kind of plan accordingly. We also had an app which was so helpful, and I love that app so much because you can see all the events and kind of timetable it in, and then kind of get notifications about when events are happening, whether you wanted to go and not. And there's a real variety of events, so you know, if you're not someone who likes going out, or you're not someone who drinks alcohol, or that you're not someone who, I don't know, wants to be outdoors a lot, there are events for everyone. So please make sure, at least from our perspective at Edinburgh, make sure you look through the Freshers booklet, make sure you look through the Freshers app, see what's going on and get to know, and go out and actually do things, try new things, and don't be scared to take the opportunity, because when you do, you're going to love yourself, and you might meet new people, and you might acquire a skill that you thought you didn't have, but you do now. Freshers Week as well is a great opportunity to get to know your flatmates. And so earlier I kept on saying this thing called pre-drinks, and this maybe might be a bit more tailored toward the nightlife kind of thing, but with pre-drinks, basically you and your flatmates would probably, before you go to the club, start drinking a bit earlier, getting to know each other. Like I said, they're like mini house parties. So for us at Salisbury, it was really great because we had a massive kitchen, so, and a table in the center, so people could sit around the table, you could play games, and get to know each other, and it was a really nice environment. And then you can go out and party in the evening. You don't have to buy any drinks from the clubs because they're really expensive, and have a good time. That was just one aspect of it. Another aspect of it was just us in the mornings waking up and watching TV with each other. So you have so much to do, and I just say don't limit yourself. Like for example, before going to uni, there were a lot of group chats which were created, for example, bless you. There were a lot of group chats created, for example, an IR group chat for my degree. There was a group chat for my accommodation, Salisbury Court, and a lot of people will be talking to each other. Meet those people. Definitely in accommodation group chats. Say you want to go to an event, message on the group chat and be like, is anyone going to this? Can we walk along together? Because that's another way you meet people. Don't feel like the people you meet at Freshers Week are the only people you'll meet. You will meet plenty of people throughout the year and throughout your entire degree. So don't limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. Another great way to kind of meet people and have a good time is to go to societies. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of people through societies, and again, I've not just joined one society or two societies. I tried to sign up to as many as I could. Usually during your Freshers Week, you'll have a Freshers Fair where all the different societies will be having their stalls. Again, ACS will be there, so if you're coming up to Edinburgh, make sure you come and visit us at the Freshers stall and come say hi. But usually at the Freshers stall, you can join societies. You might have to pay a small fee. Sometimes it's just usually around £5 to join a society, often, but they're a great way to meet new people, and to just do new things over the course of the year. Your degree can be quite intensive, and you don't want your whole life to just be consumed by your degree. Like, of course, you're at university to study, but you know, your university is much more than just studying. It's also the experience that comes with it, and I really want to make sure you guys have the best of both worlds, essentially. Like with Freshers Week, your year is and your experience of university is largely dictated by you and your actions. If you decide, for example, in Freshers Week to stay indoors all week, you can't then turn around and be like, well, Freshers Week was crap because you had nothing to do. There was a lot for you to do, but you just chose not to do it. So remember to go out there, try new things. Right guys, so I have to apologize if the lighting is super bad and this looks very dark. I've spent so much time yesterday trying to record this video, so hopefully we can get this done quickly, in on time, with nothing bad happening. So where was I? Friendship. This is definitely a topic which a lot of people are concerned about when it comes to moving to university. So how do you go about making them? Well, you need to make them in the most natural and organic sense. So first stop is your flatmates. It's a great way to make friends with your flatmates because you live with them every single day. You see them every day. If you're going into the kitchen, you're going to bump into them. So you might as well try and foster some connection with them. Also, joining societies is very important. Societies are a great way for you to meet new people, have fun, and meet people who are interested in things which are similar to you. Even though you're meeting new people in a new environment and there's loads of great people, you're having fun at university, don't forget the people back at home. Don't forget your true friends, your close friends, and the ones that you've had long relationships with, because they're the people who actually know who you are. They're the people you can turn to and be like, look, I'm going through this issue, or I'm feeling this kind of way. Can you help me? They're the people who actually care. So don't shut them out. Another way to make friends, and another topic I'm going to move on swiftly to, is sports clubs. Yes, guys, sports clubs are a great way, again, to make friends. Just like societies, you're going out there and you're having fun, and most of the time you're getting active as well. Doing sports is a great way to lose that extra couple of pounds, stay fit, and be surrounded by great like-minded people with hard-working mentality. But moving swiftly on, let's go on to clubbing and night out. What is the nightlife and clubbing life really like in Edinburgh? Apparently Edinburgh has the best student nightlife. I can't remember where I read this, but an article said this, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sip my tea and dip my biscuits. But I think it's not too bad. I live in London, so the nightlife here is one thing, and then the nightlife in Edinburgh is another thing. And so one thing I recommend is you kind of forget what nightlife is like in your city and come with an open, new, fresh arms. If you live in a big city like Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, forget it, okay? Don't think of that kind of party atmosphere. Just kind of put that at the back of your mind and go in with no expectations, because most of the time if you go in with high ones, you're gonna get let down. In Edinburgh there are a lot of clubs, so there is enough for you to have like a club night every single day of the week. So for example, on Wednesday, Lulu's has cream soda. On Thursdays, Hive is free. So there's something for you to do every day of the week essentially. But ultimately, club life and nightlife depends on you, what you listen to, and how you like. If you're someone who likes a particular sound like me, Edinburgh might not be the most catering for you. We can't just turn up to a club one day and expect the music to be popping. It's not going to be like that. Most of the time you have to kind of look whether there's a themed night going on, and then you're like, okay, good, I know that they're going to be playing my music, so I'll go. There are places like, for example, Shanghai, which does Urban Fridays, and La Vida, which does kind of like an urban thing on Saturday. So there are places like that which do like some R&B, hip hop, Afrobeats kind of bashment sound, which is great. So if you're like me and you like that kind of music, there are some places which cater to you. There are places like Why Not, and Attic, which do have rooms dedicated to R&B and that kind of sound. But the issue is these rooms are known as VIP rooms, my advice, just sneak in, honey. Like, what can I do? You've already paid to get into the club, and plus, why am I paying for R&B? Like, deep this. Like, I've paid to go into the club to listen to music, and now you want me to pay extra to listen to a certain type of music? Okay, sit back down. In general, it is alright. It's good fun. When you've got the great company and good friends, now that is when you're looking at a lit night out. Now, moving on to a topic kind of semi-related, but not. And this topic is boys.
Next question. See ya.
You know what's funny? You're growing up and, you know, you hear your parents saying no boyfriend during school. Okay, cool. And then they turn around and then they're like, you know, just leave it, you know, because in university you'll find your husbands. You'll find one and you will marry him. When you leave university, you would have found your life partner. Me, at the end of first year, this is me, okay? I was like, husband who? Is he under a rock or something? Because where is he? I can't find him. I can't find him. Wow. Guys at university, I'm telling you, boys are here fishing for the new punani. That's all they want. They want the new girl that they can hump and dump. That's all they want. That's all they want, darling. So there's no point trying to invest in relationship. Just forget it. Just forget it. Focus on your books, and then if it happens, it happens. Don't worry about relationships at uni and all that jazz. It's just not that deep. Really, that's all. Like, this is just me just venting, but like, it's just not that deep. So many times, right? And don't get me wrong, I don't have any problems with people snogging in clubs, right? Do you, boo? But you can see the predatory nature of the guys coming to feast. I'm not telling you snog. Feast on your face. Feast. They're having a whole meal. Like, wow. These guys are crazy. Don't be gullible on Freshers Week when man them are moving to you. These guys will come and make you feel special in some certain way, right? They'll try and make you feel special. You'll feel like you're the only one. And then you realize this trash bag has said the same speech to your friend. It just baffles me. Baffles. You know what I'm saying? Summer has just ended, right? Summer has just ended. These uni boys are carrying on their summer. They're doing up Croatia and Ayia Napa at uni. But I'm not saying, right, this is the case for everyone. There are some few which actually do get into relationships and it works. And congratulations to you, boo. Congratulations. But for the rest of us, you all need to be careful. Be careful. So let's end on this. Did my first year of university match my expectations? I was kind of blessed, right? That I was watching all these YouTube videos last year, just like you are doing now. But last year I was watching all these first year videos and like all this advice videos and stuff. And so a lot of people kind of taught me, and this is the knowledge that I want to impart to you. Don't go in with kind of any crazy expectations, because for many people they went in with that mentality for Freshers Week especially, and they were super let down, and I don't want that to be you. So make sure that you go in with an open mind. You're gonna meet people of all degrees, right? And that's why with friendships you need to be open, because you're going to meet people which have been raised differently. Let's just put it that way. So you need to be willing to accept that and move on with it, because otherwise it's just going to restrict you in many ways. Uni was literally a roller coaster ride, so at times it was good, at times it was bad. Some things that people say will happen won't happen. Some things that people say will happen. So you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. People are only speaking from their experiences, and their experience isn't your experience. So everyone's experience is going to be different. So don't let that affect you or what you choose to do. You can't go in thinking it's going to go one way or another way. Just go in. That's all I want you to do. Just go in, free spirit. You can't tell me nothing. So having said that, I'm so grateful for you watching. I was really excited to film this video, even though it's taken several attempts. I'm hoping that it will work this time. Make sure you go and like, comment and subscribe, guys. I want to hear comments below. Let me know if you want to see more kinds of talky videos like this, if you want me to go into more detail about certain aspects of this, because this was kind of an overview. And I'd be more than happy to help. Make sure you subscribe to your girl, because I can see them numbers climbing up, and I'm so grateful for seeing all of you. So I'm gonna duck and dive, and I'll see you in another video. Bye guys.